Join me for one of the wildest fairy tales I've ever read from Hungary. Has little details like someone ripping out the entrails of a cat and putting its skin on and pretending to be the cat until it poops in someone's lap. Like, I'm telling you, this one is amazing. It's called Chuskari, which is the name of the protagonist, and I'm probably saying it wrong, trying my best. In a deep dark wood, there's a poor man with 3 sons, and he is specifically Romani. It uses the term that many of them consider to be a racial slur that obviously I won't say. If you're curious what it is, just watch Disney's Hunchback of Notre Dame. What's fascinating is the Romani people in most stories from Europe are magical and sometimes evil, but in this one, they're the protagonists, or at least the youngest son is. His name is Chuskari, and he tells his older brothers we should leave and make our own way because our dad can't take care of us because he's poor, and so they do. This is in a time so long ago that there is no sun, moon, or stars in the sky, so I guess it's really dark. The king somehow knows that there is a man somewhere who can put the sun, moon, and stars in the sky, because they know what those are even though they don't have them. He sends his counselors off to find whoever that man is. One of the counselors comes upon the 3 Romani boys, and the youngest says, I can hang the sun and moon and stars for you, so they bring all 3 boys back, and they all sign a contract that they will try and find the sun, moon, and stars, put them in the sky, and whoever does gets half the kingdom. Our dude sets off with his brothers, and then he sees gold writing on a leaf that says, hey, there's a boar who's gonna come and just kill you. But if you get past him, in a creek, you will find a sow who has 12 wasps in a small box inside her body. Didn't see that coming, did you? So our hero is ready with an arrow when the boar comes at him. So the boar stops and he's like, please do not kill me and don't kill my wife, the sow, because we have 9 piglets that need her to take care of them. Go ahead and rip open her belly and get the box of wasps out. But after that, will you sew her up again so she can still live? And Chuskari is a nice dude, so he absolutely does that. He gets the box, sews up the pig, goes on his way. They continue traveling and they come to this cottage to rest, but the woman inside says, hey, my husband is a dragon with 12 heads and he's gonna come back and kill you. But our hero's like, it's cool, I got this. So he goes to the bridge the dragon has to ride over on his horse. And if it seems weird that the dragon has a horse, the further east you go in Europe, the more often dragons are going to behave like men and have men bodies and be more like shapeshifters than animals. Anyway, our dude sticks his sword up between the slats of the bridge and trips the dragon, and then he's like, I'ma fight you. The dragon's like, may your blood be lapped up by dogs. And our dude is like, oh, my 12-headed friend, you're going down. And he does. Our dude cuts off all 12 of his heads, then continues on his way with his brothers. So the next house they come to is the woman whose husband is the brother of this dude, a dragon with 10 heads this time. Same thing happens. Our dude still chops off all 10 of his heads. They travel to the house of the 3rd brother who has 8 heads. But this one's different. When they start battling, they are equally matched. And so their battle lasts days and nights. And finally the dragon is like, dude, I think that we should just take a rest. And so they do. And after the rest, the dragon's like, I think we're gonna keep fighting forever. So I'm gonna change us into flames and we'll fight that way. You know, like you do. And so our dude is a green flame, the dragon is a red flame, and they're fighting. Our dude is losing, but then he sees an eagle go through the sky and he calls out to the eagle like, hey, I'm trying to put the sun and moon and stars in the sky. Will you please go get some water and put out this flame that's fighting me? And the eagle does. He brings water in his mouth and it's apparently enough to put out the flame of the 8-headed dragon, and then he's just normal again and our dude cuts off his heads and then it's over. But it's not over. The wives of all 3 of the dragons band together and go to visit their father-in-law, the dad dragon. And they're just sitting around cursing our dude, who of course has snuck in and is listening. They're crazy curses. The oldest daughter-in-law says, I want him to eat a loaf of bread that would make him burst into 12 pieces. The next one says, I want him to drink from a well that would make him burst into 10 pieces. And the third one says, I want him to bite into a pear that would make him burst into 8 pieces. While this went on, Csucskári took the insides out of a tomcat, slipped into its skin, jumped onto the lap of the youngest daughter-in-law, who just thinks it's a cat that's normal. Then that daughter-in-law asks the mother of all of the dragons what she wants to do. Turns out she's just a straight up witch, because she says, I would fly out on my shovel blade, because sometimes they ride broomsticks, sometimes shovels, and I would burn his buttocks. That's what she wants to do to him. Hearing this, Chuskari defecated on the lap of the youngest daughter-in-law and took off. Just poops on her and leaves. He meets back up with his brothers, and it says that he makes them swear an oath on the hilt of his sword that they will let him be the first in everything they do, and they agree to that. And as they're traveling, the brothers get hungry. They see this loaf of bread just sitting there, which is obviously the magic loaf from the people who are out to get him. And so our dude picks it up and makes the sign of the cross over it, and red blood flows from the loaf of bread, which is so awesome. Someone put that in a book or a movie. And in doing that, he also kills the wife of the dragon with 12 heads. Like, that's her blood or something. They go on, find the well of the second wife, and even though the brothers desperately want to drink from it, he's like, no, makes the sign of the cross, blood flows up from the well, and she dies. Then they find a pear from the third wife, sign of the cross, cuts it open, blood, she's dead, they're safe. But then the mom decides she's gonna ride out on her shovel and burn his buttocks. She's flying after them, and they go hide with a blacksmith, and they're like, hey, if you help us from this woman who's a witch with an iron nose, we find out, then like we'll serve you for a while. And he's like, cool, and if you go back on your words, I'm gonna kill you. See that mannequin over there? And I looked up for any other term for mannequin other than just like a human doll thing, but he can tie it into 365 knots. He's like, I'll do that to you. And they're like, okay, please don't. So with the blacksmith's help, here's how our dude kills the witch. The witch comes to the blacksmith's shop, and he's like, hey, I'm gonna put a hole in the wall, and then I'm gonna squeeze the dude you're looking for through the hole. You gotta open your mouth and be ready to catch him in your mouth. And she's like, okay. But when she does, he pours 60 quarts of melted lead into her mouth, and she fell down dead as a doornail, I bet. But now the three brothers have a problem. They've promised to serve this blacksmith, and they don't know how to get out of it. And that's when we're told the blacksmith has a wife, and our dude falls in love with her, and she falls in love with him. And he's like, hey, you need to get out of your husband how you can take his strength away. Very Samson and Delilah fashion, which happens a lot in folklore. The first time she asks him, her husband hits her in the face so hard she passes out for 24 hours. But the second time, he just tells her, oh, I have this special chainmail under my shirt. But while he's asleep, our dude gets the shirt off him and ties him into 365 knots. Our dude and his brothers go on their way, and then there's this whole part where the oldest brother wants to kill him, and he tells the second brother, hey, let's kill him and take the wasps ourselves. And he's like, no, you're awful, and just straight up tells our dude, and our dude is like, oh yeah, we're gonna leave you now. Like, no punishment, they just disown him, and he's like, someday he'll just be a turkey herder or something. And the two of them go back to the palace. Then they present the box, they release the wasps, and they turn into the moon, the sun, and stars. And no, those exist. Our dude marries the princess, gets half the kingdom, and for 7 years and 7 winks, the wedding feast went on. Hungarian folktales are so wild and epic and lush and fun, and they are quickly becoming some of my favorites, so I'm going to be telling you a lot more in the future.